This is the book of James, chapter 1, verse 1. James, a servant of Yahweh and of the Lord Yahushai HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahushai is his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who grew well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, risking their life for Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai's sake. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of James, chapter 1, verse 1, is that I came across this article today by the Daily Beast, where they wrote an article on were there actually 12 tribes of Israel? And the answer is yes. Now, the interesting thing about this article is that they go into, history of events that took place, which we do, They go into the historical account of when, I'll read it and then, and it, just to show you that, hey, man, these devils know, they know, who the 12 tribes are. And that's why it's high time for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites to wake up, Come to realization you've been lied to your whole life. Come to realization that these devils have been hiding who you are, They've been hiding it. You went to their education institutions and they taught you nothing but lies, and you must come to reality that, And plantation Christianity is not the way. It's all about the Israelites. And in this article, they're going to tell you, In 1644, Antonio Montezinos, a Portuguese traveler originally known as Aaron Levy, returned to Amsterdam with an astonishing story about the people he had encountered in the proverbial depths of South America. During his visit, a native guide named Francisco took him deep into the mountains. A week into the journey, he met a community of indigenous people who identified themselves to him as the lost tribes of Israel. Montezino, who was originally known as Aaron Levi, was startled and astonished. Right. And this is the history we go into because, hey, you can find all that history in this book written by an Edomite. Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, The Origins of American Racism, Ronald Sanders. Right. And what the Daily Beast is reporting is the account of an event that you can find in this book, where an Israelite woman from the tribe of Reuben, saluted Montezino, and the guy Francisco, with the Hebrew creed, Deuteronomy 6:4, I'll get it, and she said, hey, yeah, we're from the tribe of Reuben, and there's a island nearby where the tribe of Joseph is at, and she was talking about, what's it called? I believe it was Manasseh, Manasseh, because they're talking about the Island of Cuba, But the point is, and brothers could write in a comment if that's accurate, and because hey, we always like to iron sharpeneth iron, But the point is that this is what they're talking about. So again, James 1:1. James, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord Yahushai Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. Right. Greeting. This is James. This is the brother of Yahushai, Starting his introduction saying greetings to the 12 tribes. Because at that point, this letter was to those that knew who they were. So let's continue on with this article because it gets better. It says the story might have amounted to nothing had he not passed it along to a prominent rabbi named Manasseh ben Israel. Ben Israel used it as the basis for his influential work of Hope of Israel, a compendium of information about the whereabouts of the lost tribes of Israel, which was published in 1650. Okay? So yeah, man. All right? This is historical accounts that have been documented. And the Daily Beast is just, okay, did its research and regurgitating what we've been saying, all right, what our elders and apostles have been saying for decades upon decades, man. All right? It goes on and says, Ben Israel used it as a basis for his influential work, Hope of Israel, a compendium of information about the whereabouts of the lost tribe of Israel, which was published in 1650. The book was intended to inspire his fellow Jews who had suffered and would continue to suffer social marginalization, legal oppression, and violent persecution at the hands of anti-Semitic Edomite Europeans, right? Because this is in the 1600s. This is when you Edomites got into power. This is during the Renaissance period, okay? This is when you started now calling the shots, and you started, okay, telling all the every other nation and culture to bow down to your will, all right? But it was also taken up by Christians. First British colonizers claimed that Native Americans were descended from the lost tribes of Israel, right? Native Americans, okay? Because the British came over here, where? To the Americas. Okay, and again, when you go into that Lost Tribes of Promised Lands, to that particular, there's a particular chapter. All right, it was a tribe of Reuben. Okay, that's a woman from the tribe of Reuben, and she said this to Montezinos, Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our power, is one Lord. Right, that's why we say in the Hebrew, Shemai, Yasharallah, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Yahweh, Akkad, right? Okay, that's what she said. And again, man, this is the Daily Beast reporting this. And then she said that there was a tribe of Joseph on an island nearby, okay? And Joseph had two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, okay? That's why I believe she was referring to the island of Cuba, because she said she was from the tribe of Reuben. That's in the places of the area of South Florida, okay, which at that time was owned by the Spaniards, Spain. They had territory over that land. That's why all you Edomites, from you Spaniards to you Dutch, to you British, all right, you're all Edomites. You all had a hand in our demise, okay? All right, let's get back on track. The book was intended to inspire, I read that already, and more famously, the Church of, that's not his name, of Latter-day Saints, who both identified themselves, who genealogically were the descendants of European settlers and Native Americans with Israel, right? So there you go. It says right here, for Ben Israel, it says Jewish Indian, but we should know now it's about the Israelites. Theory was about hope. For the British, it was related to anxieties about linking the new world to the old. The idea that America or any people of or nation could become Israel was enormously popular, right? That's why you got, you got these individuals calling themselves the JJs, calling themselves us, all right, because that it's popular, all right, and a lot of people in that time wanted to be, okay, the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, all right, because everyone was reading the Bible, man. They knew that it was all about Israel. If you had read the Hebrew Bible, saw Disney's Prince of Egypt, or watched Andrew Lloyd Webber's Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, then you almost certainly know about the 12 tribes of Israel. That's a stupid Roe versus Wade shit. Hey, man, the Lord's going to destroy America, man. The fact that you're arguing over Roe versus Wade, okay, this goes to show you're an ungodly, okay, society, all right? You're ungodly, all right? Back and forth with this. You're not supposed to be killing a child in the womb, period, all right? It's a life, okay? You fucking people, if you don't want children, stop fucking, okay? All right? Anyway, continuing on. Or put a fucking condom on. Anyway, continuing on. In many ways of Israel is sort of synonymous with Jewishness and Judaism. People use it to refer to a nation, an identity, and a central group who share in God's promises to Abraham and are the favored people of God. See, there you go. See, look what it says. In many ways, Israel is sort of synonymous with Israel. People use it to refer to a nation, an identity, and a central group who share in God's promise to Abraham and are favored people of God. You see, favor. What does favor mean? Okay, let's look it up. Approval, support, liking for someone or something. An act of kindness beyond what is due or usual. Preferred. Right, preferred. All right. All right, so let's get a scripture for that. Because the Lord favors Israel. So you plantation Christians, you don't know what you're talking about. Clowns like Vocab Malone, just crawl underneath a rock and die quietly, man. You're an idiot, all right? All right, just die quietly, all right? And the Lord is going to destroy you, man, because you're wicked. Deuteronomy 7:6, for thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Right, because he favors the Israelites. He loves us. Deuteronomy 28:9, the Lord shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy power and walk in his ways. There you go. Okay. Exodus 19:5. Now therefore, if you obey my voice, right, this is the time, okay, when Moses and the children of Israel, right, that time period. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. 6, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. So you plantation Christians, you don't know what you're talking about. Man, you even got the Daily Beast, okay? All right, literally saying the same thing we're saying. And they're a left-wing media institution. Look at this part right here. As it has come down to us, the biblical narrative is very focused, is very Israel focused. The biblical narrative, right, meaning the Bible, meaning the book of Genesis through to Revelation, is very Israel focused. You know why you plantation Christians are through, man. You're through. In Genesis, the patriarch Jacob, the one who steals Esau's birthright, well, first of all, he supplanted Esau, okay? Esau, you gave up your birthright, all right? He supplanted you for the blessing, but you gave up your birthright. You said what, okay, what does this birthright profit me? When you wanted lentils, all right, and some and a morsel of meat, all right? You said, what does this birthright profited me? So Jacob didn't steal it. You gave it away. You despise your birthright. All right, he supplants you for the blessing, okay? Anyway, has a vision of ladder and walked with a limp after losing a match to an angel, and had 12 sons and a daughter, but people are fairly disinterested in her, right? Because it's all about the men, all right? The men are the ones that bring forth the line, the royal bloodline. The tribes of Israel are descendants of these sons. And look, the Daily Beast goes into the history, okay? Check this out. The kingdom of Israel was divided to two kingdoms. Right, this is right after Solomon's death. The northern, which retained the name of Israel, was occupied by most of tribes, and the southern, also known as Judah. In the 8th century BCE, the Assyrian army captured the Israelites' capital, Samaria, and carried the inhabitants of northern kingdom off into exile. Man, the Daily Beast did their homework. While 1 Kings 11:12 is explicit that there were 10 tribes in the northern kingdom, it is unclear both how many tribes were located in Judah and which specific tribes went from the northern kingdom into exile. Right, because, hey, even in the New Testament, there was an Asherite woman, okay, in Judea, okay? So you had certain northern kingdom Israelites, all right, in Judea during the time of the Romans. As Tobolowsky put it to me, there actually is no text that says these are the 10 tribes of Israel that were exiled, or these are the tribes who survived. Wait a minute. Well, he's fucking off. Because in the Bible, in the Apocrypha, which means hidden things, where is it at? Here it is. Second Esdras 13 and 14. Those are the 10 tribes which are carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive. And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. That's talking about America. Okay? And notice it says, they took this counsel amongst them that they will leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth. Okay, leave the multitude of the heathen. So they left, okay, the Assyrian captivity and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. 42, that they might there keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land. Right, that's why they were speaking Hebrew. That's why they saluted Montezino and Francisco with the Israelite credo, right? Shema Yasharallah. Okay? Shema Yasharallah, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh, Akkad, right? Because they knew they were Israelites. And they were like, oh, you're an Israelite too? Well, shalom. 43, and they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. 44, for the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over. 45, for through that country, meaning the Americas, there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Arzareth. I want to see something here. Arzareth. Oh, no, they did it. They actually have it here. Oh, yeah, this is a Dagger. Look at that. Arzareth. Jewish Encyclopedia, the name of the land beyond the great river, for away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes observing the laws of Moses until the time of the restoration, according to 2nd Esdras chapter 13 verse 45. Columbus identified America with this land. Wow. Man, you can't make this up. Yeah, you can't make this up, man. All right, where am I at? Okay, what? There we go. So yeah, then throughout, so that's it, man. All right, that's it. Okay. So this is the truth. And you, Jakes, man, you need to wake the hell up, man. You've been lied to. I want to bring this out. Zechariah chapter 12, verse 7. The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first. Right, that's why, okay, the truth came out of Harlem, USA, One West, all right? Abba Bivens, okay? And the 12 tribes with the sign, okay? That's the hook, Wawa, okay? And that's why you had so-called Negroes waking up to their identity first in America, because the truth has to come out of Babylon the Great. Okay? The Lord also shall save the tent of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. Right? And once Judah got the breath of life from the Lord and woke up to their nationality, and then they started teaching and woke up the other tribes, like me. I'm from the tribe of Ephraim, okay? Before I knew that, I was calling myself a so-called Puerto Rican, which was a complete backwards of a nationality. Rich port, that shit is off, man. Ain't nothing rich, okay, about that island, man. It was rich, but that shit got stolen. Everything is taken. That island is in shambles, man. Okay, that's not something I'm proud of to be called, man. All right, that's why I don't identify myself as a so-called Puerto Rican. All right, because it's a byword, it's a proverb. That's not the name the Lord gave me. All right, get that through your head, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, Black, Hispanic, Native American. That's not the name the Lord gave you. Hey, in that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as the Most High, as the angel of the Lord before them. Exactly, man. Hey, the Lord's coming to get us up out of here, defend us. At Tobit chapter 13, verse 3, confess him before the Gentiles, the children of Israel, for he has scattered us among them. Right, and that's what we're doing. That's why we teach on the highways and byways. That's why we push this video out, all right? Because we are confessing, all right, to the world, all right? Hey, we're the Israelites. The Lord chose us. He loves us, okay? He's going to save us from our captivity, okay? He didn't forget about us. And the elites know this. The Daily Beast knows this, okay? So what about you Jakes, man? Huh? When you gonna come to realization that you're an Israelite and it's time to seek the Lord and it's time to be an Israelite? Plantation Christianity is not the way. Can't you see? I mean, if this lesson through Spirit Power Yahweh Shema Shai wasn't edifying, hey man, then hey, you weren't meant to see. You got to get hit with a nuke. All right, see you on the other side, man. So I'll leave it off with this. James 1:1. James, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. And when you go into that word greeting, okay, it's chario, which means to rejoice, be glad, to rejoice exceedingly. And we are rejoicing and be glad exceedingly because we know who we are. We're remembering ourselves. We're back. Israel's back. And our spirit, okay, is stronger than ever, man, because this is all we got, is the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, okay? That's all we have, is these words. And that's why the Lord put the fire on us to keep going, all right? And Lord, when he keeps putting the fire on us. And with that, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Wakakodash. Double honors to the apostles of great no stone who grew well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth to sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, risking their life for Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai say. Love you, brothers. Keep it door, keep the faith. As you can see, we're almost out of here. Keep pushing, keep fighting, keep studying. Pray without ceasing. Pray for each other. Pray for the elders and the apostles. All right? Hey, let's keep going. To the few that do watch, keep studying when you pray. Pray with your head covered. Shalom and Abad and Paul Shalom.